Hello everyone and welcome back to another must-see chess game by Bobby Fischer, and in this chess game his opponent is Francisco Perez, the chess champion of Spain for 3 times, and this chess game happened in Havana in 1965 in the chess tournament of Havana. Let's see what happens. So Bobby Fischer, who has the white pieces, starts the game with pushing the e-pawn e4. d6, Bobby Fischer always played e4, so d4, knight to f6, so black is playing the Pirc defense, knight to c3, and then g6, f4 by Bobby Fischer, and this is the Austrian attack of the Pirc defense, probably the most exciting variation of the Pirc defense. Bishop to g7, knight to f3, and black castled. Bishop to d3, knight to c6, and Bobby Fischer is naturally charging at the center, exchanging, and knight to d5, exchanging and simply defending the d-pawn, c3. And black played bishop to g4, pinning the knight. And maybe in this position castling is expected, or something like bishop goes back and unpinning the knight. Maybe castling is looking very natural, but in this position Bobby Fischer played interesting queen to e2, not castling and allowing to damage his own pawn structure. But we have rook from a to d8. So let's take it back and let's check out what happens if bishop takes on f3. Then g takes on f3, and this is going to open the rook, and white can push the h-pawn and also the f-pawn, and you can see that white has a pretty active position. On the other hand, black is a little bit passive, so you can see that this bishop is doing nothing. This bishop fires nothing. So maybe white is better after bishop takes knight, but we have rook from a to d8 anyway. And bishop to e4, defending the queen and asking a question. Black didn't want to lose the bishop, black goes back, and then Bobby Fischer castled. So we can prefer white in this position. I would prefer white, of course, white is better. Bishop to d5, exchanging the bishops and developing the final piece, bishop to f4. b5, charging from the queen side. And rook from a to d1, leaving the a-pawn, but if capturing the a-pawn with the queen, then simply capturing on b5 with attacking the knight. So a6, and Bobby Fischer is simply defending the a-pawn, and maybe in this position white can push the c-pawn, charging from the queen side, so defending with the knight, knight to a5, so defending on c4, and it is white to move. After evaluating this position, can you see what is wrong with black's position, which move is actually winning in this position for white? It looks like a close position and a little bit crumpy, but in this position actually white has a winning move, and after that move black is in big trouble. So if I give you 3 seconds to pause the video, if you need, can you guess the next move for white? Okay, so did you see e6? This was the move of Bobby Fischer. So there are actually multiple threats. In a dull looking position, Bobby Fischer played just one move, and after that move, actually white is winning. Fischer makes it look so easy. In a difficult looking position, actually we can say that white turns the table. So with this move, Fischer is liberating the bishop and threatening to capture on c7, forking the rook and the knight, threatening to take the pawn. So there are so many threats, but the biggest threat is bishop takes on c7. And if queen takes pawn, then exchanging the queens and damaging the pawn structure, and then capturing the pawn, and that is completely losing for black, forking the knight and the rook. So just this move turns the table for white. Rook over, defending on c7, but then e takes on f7. Rook takes on f7. Let's take it back and let's check out what happens if queen takes on f7. Then knight to g5. After defending the queen, knight to e6. And this is losing for black. As you can see, this is forking the rook and the c-pawn. And maybe king takes also is a possibility, but then checking the king, and where is the king going? So king back and then knight to e6, and this is also winning for white, and black is losing. So okay, let's take it back. e6 was the move. Did you see this move? And then e takes on f7, rook takes on f7, and then knight to g5 by Bobby Fischer, defending the rook. Again, if rook goes back, then knight to e6. So rook to f6, rook from d to e1, and b4. What would you do in this position if you had the white pieces? Which move is the best move for white? Knight to e6 by Bobby Fischer. This was the move, and in this position Bobby Fischer is again attacking on c7, and he is perhaps threatening to push the pawn, and he is defending on d4, and also maybe attacking the bishop, because if king takes bishop, then you can see that white is landing on e7, and that is losing. So b takes on c3, and then Bobby Fischer simply captured the bishop. Knight takes on g7. In this position, black thought that he has check in between move, but after moving the king up, black resigned. Can you see why black resigned in this position? Because if capturing the knight, then capturing on e7, and after moving the king, bishop to e5, and this is all over for black. So in this position, if rook takes on f4, then knight to e6, forking the queen and the rook, and this is all over again for black. And in this position, so this is basically losing. If rook to f7, then bishop to e5. If moving the king, so this is, as you can see, forking the king and the queen. And if moving the king, capturing the rook, and actually this is checkmate. Okay, so what do you think about this chess game? I hope you have enjoyed watching this chess game. So I hope to see you next time with more interactive chess games from the history of chess. So take care, stay safe, and bye bye.